Bill Gates told us he had no detailed relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. They just met for lunch and hung out once or maybe twice. Turns out that's not true. Bill Gates may have been blackmailed by Jeffrey Epstein involving an affair that he had some time ago. But Bill Gates said that none of that was true. Benny Johnson clipped this. When he was asked about this, he explained his relationship with Epstein was very minimal. Just dinner, he said.
Epstein had a way of sexually compromising people. Is that what Melinda was warning you about?
No. I mean, no, I had dinner with him and that's all.
That's it.
And that you regret the relationship, the acquaintance?
That I had dinner with him.
And the relationship between the foundation and Epstein, which
There never was any relationship of any kind with him.
Doesn't like those questions at all. Look at that body language. Deep breaths, eyes floating all over the place, looking to the left, to the right, to the left over there, back down, up and down. Another sigh, deep breaths. Woo, did not like the questions. Didn't like that at all. Now, some interesting things happened because we know this woman was somebody he met at a game tournament, and something may have happened between these two. Let's take a look at the story. This came out from the Wall Street Journal. It was an exclusive from them. They tell us the following. They say, Epstein appeared to threaten Bill Gates over his affair with a Russian bridge player. That's who that was. The Russians, man! The disgraced financier, called Jeffrey Epstein, was trying to set up a philanthropic fund. Billionaire Bill Gates wouldn't work with him. But Jeffrey Epstein discovered that Bill had an affair with Russian bridge player, later appeared to use his knowledge to threaten him. Bill met her around 2010. She was in her 20s. Epstein met her 3 years later in 2013 and later paid for her to attend software coding school. Oh, hey, you're pretty good at that game. You would also be good at coding. Why don't I pay for it for you? But then later in 2017, Epstein emailed Gates and asked to be reimbursed for the costs of the course, according to people familiar with the matter. So why is he sending an email to Gates? The email came after Epstein was convicted. He struggled and failed to persuade Gates to participate in a multi-billion-dollar charitable fund that Epstein tried to establish with Chase Bank. The implication behind the message, according to the people who have viewed it, was that Epstein could reveal the affair if Gates didn't keep up the association between the two men. So you see what happens? He sends an email. Hey, Bill, guess who this is? It's your pal, Jeffrey. You know, I was just sitting around here on my island thinking about our relationship, disappointed that we're not able to do business together. And it popped up on my mind because this other woman, who you may know, she said that she ran across you some time ago when she was playing bridge, whatever her name is. And gosh, she said that she was going to coding school. And since you guys had a bump in together some time ago, I'm wondering if you would be willing to reimburse me for covering her coding school, or else what? You know, one of those implications. Mr. Gates met with Epstein solely for philanthropic purposes. Having failed repeatedly to draw Mr. Gates beyond these matters, Epstein tried to unsuccessfully leverage a past relationship to threaten Mr. Gates, said a spokesman. Well, didn't Bill Gates just say nothing like that had happened? Epstein was accused in 2006 of abusing young women. As young as 14, pled guilty, but people still hung out with him, including other billionaires like Reid Hoffman. He spent time in Florida jail, registered as an offender, and the Miami Herald reported dozens of women who said that they were abused. He later died in jail as a result of suicide, they say, if you believe that. Gates, 67 years old, now an advisor with Microsoft, one of the largest shareholders. The woman's name is Mila Antonova, Russian bridge player, declined to comment. Said, I had no idea that he was a criminal, talking about Epstein. I thought he was a successful businessman and he wanted to help. I'm disgusted with Epstein and what he did. They all are. The new details about Epstein and Gates reveal a layer of complexity to their relationship. They shed new light on how Epstein operated. In the years between his conviction and his death, Epstein packed his days meeting with politicians, businessmen, academics, and other celebrities. He provided favors and used connections. Gates had a net worth of $100 billion, one of the largest philanthropists in the world, among the most well-known names on Epstein's calendar. In 2011, it started, Gates had more than half a dozen meetings scheduled with Epstein. What? I thought he just had one dinner, including dinners at Epstein's New York townhouse. Gates flew on Epstein's private plane from New Jersey to Florida in March 2011. 2013 after the conviction. The same month, the two men met in France with an official on a Nobel Peace Prize committee. They spent much of the day together in New York 2014 meeting other billionaires as well. And here's another comment from Bill Gates. Hey Gates, are there any lessons with all your relationships with these guys, with Epstein and other people? Do you regret any of all of that relationship?
And, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you or anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead. So, in general, you always have to be careful. And,
He's dead. So why are you asking me? In general, you always have to be careful, but he's dead. So leave me alone. Stop asking about it.
You always have to be careful.
Gosh, he is so uncomfortable every time this comes up. Now, Gates has said he learned to play bridge from his parents, and he played with Antonova, another devotee of the game. She later found a bridge club in the US, probably Putin's infiltrator. In a video posted online, Antonova talked about meeting Gates, said, "I didn't beat him, but I tried to kick him with my leg." Little flirtatious device. Antonova had an idea to start an online business to teach people how to play bridge, and so she communicated with somebody who was a Bill Gates confidant. Nikolic met Epstein, this was another confidant, in his capacity as Gates' scientific advisor, and he says, "I deeply regret that I ever met Epstein." Everybody regrets it. November 9th, Antonova wrote in an email to thank Epstein for the meeting. Epstein ultimately didn't invest in the project. Says that Antonova stayed briefly at the apartment in Epstein's apartment in New York, but didn't interact with him or anybody else. While he was meeting with Gates, Epstein also had multiple meetings scheduled with other people close to Gates, including people with Microsoft, and the emails were very strange. He was also writing to people from JP Morgan and elsewhere. This is a clip from Bill Gates' ex-wife on the entire saga with Epstein.
It was also widely reported that Bill had a business or some kind of contact with Jeffrey Epstein, and that you were not.
What do you know about that?
That was very upsetting to you. Did that play a role in the divorce at all in this process?
Yeah, as I said, it's not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him. I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was.
Whoa.
And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified.
Whoa.
I had nightmares about it afterwards.
Whoa.
So, my heart breaks for these young women because that's how I felt. And here I'm an older woman. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It's awful.
You felt that the moment you walked in? I didn't
He was
realize
awful.
that. Yeah.
Didn't realize.
And you
no
shared
idea.
that with Bill, and he still continued to spend time with him?
Any of the questions remaining about what Bill's relationship there was, those are for Bill to answer.
Okay. Yeah, don't
but I made
talk
it
to
very
me.
clear how I felt about him.
Don't talk to me. Oh gosh, she's so full of crap. This is somebody who's trying to get out of the blast zone, isn't she? She doesn't want to be anywhere near it. She knows what really was going on there. There was an urge for her to get out of it and to divorce Bill Gates so that she didn't get caught in any of this spillover. But how long was she married to Bill? And how long was this relationship going on with Epstein? And why did she want to meet him so badly? Because she had suspicions about what was happening. And when was that meeting? And why is she just now speaking out about this? And what did she know? And was she involved at all? Or maybe she was just an innocent party and she really didn't know anything and she's trying to extricate herself from it. We'll see. As more of this Epstein saga becomes public and is revealed, there will be more people who also want to scurry away from the damage. We'll continue to cover them.